Hi, my name is Scott. Today I'll be taking you through a program that brings the cutting edge of elementary educational research into the lives of young Rockford students. Now, this program is called Spanish Immersion.
Okay, so what is immersion?
Immersion is a form of instruction where students learn the district's core curriculum through Spanish rather than in English. In other words, the students are immersed into the language and learn the same content as other students, but while doing so learn to read, write, and speak Spanish.
Is immersion a new idea? Immersion education started in Canada in 1965 with a French immersion program. And the first immersion program in the United States was a Spanish immersion program in Culver City, California in 1971.
So immersion isn't a new idea, but it has recently gained popularity in mainstream education and is currently the fastest growing form of language instruction.
Michael Hiblin is the principal of Rockford's Roguewood Elementary, the home of Rockford's Spanish immersion program.
There are three main goals of Spanish immersion. One of the main goals of Spanish immersion is that students learn the curriculum at each particular grade level, the Rockford curriculum that is already established. A second goal is that in learning those objectives and learning that curriculum, students gain a high understanding and a high proficiency in the Spanish language without any sacrifice to their English language. The third goal is also for students to gain a multicultural understanding for the greater world and the wider world in which we live. Because when you study a language, you also study a culture.
So is Rockford alone? How widespread is this cutting-edge teaching style?
No, Rockford is not alone. Immersion is the fastest growing form of language education, with 263 programs nationwide across 33 states and 82 school districts.
So, how does this Spanish immersion program work?
During an immersion class setting, children use the language as a tool for understanding and communicating meaning. For example, all the daily routines and all the procedures are given by the teacher in Spanish. So students have to learn how to navigate throughout the classroom, from the classroom to their desk, to the locker, to the lunchroom. And so it's a tool for them in their everyday classroom environment.
Yeah, because you got everything around and now you know what she means, so it's really working out. The thing I like best about school is how you learn a different language that you never knew, and you learn a lot about it, and you get really good at it, and you can talk to other people that speak that language when you get older.
These students are doing something they would be doing in an English classroom, and they're learning Spanish at the same time, so it's almost like a 2-for-1 opportunity.
Everything I have seen in the classroom so far, it beats my expectations of what I was hoping for him this year.
I think one of the great things about Rockford is that parents are very committed to helping out in the classroom.
It's important to learn Spanish so you can talk to other people.
And what do parents think?
When I learned about the program being offered here in Rockford, we were so excited. We talked it over with our daughter and explained to her the benefits that it would give her later in life, and she was excited about it as well, so we signed right up. You know, foreign language ability is going to be increasingly important, whether it's for global economy, for tourism, for national security, the delivery of health care. You know, it's just going to be a requirement, I think, in the future.
We see that the kids come in a little nervous at the very first of the year because they don't understand what I'm saying when I'm speaking all Spanish. But when they get used to it, they do very well. They're just as comfortable working in Spanish as English.
Our children are going to need to have a second language in order to survive in the real world. I think it's a wonderful experience for my son to be able to learn a second language when it's easiest for him to do so. All the research shows that the kids pick it up so much quicker than even high schoolers or middle schoolers do.
Los Estados Unidos normalmente celebramos 5 de mayo. No mucho, es la primera vez para muchos de ustedes. ¿Celebramos el 4 de julio? Sí. Sí, el 4 de julio celebramos porque es el día de libertad para nosotros.
So why immersion, and why now?
Well, there are four main reasons why immersion at the early elementary level works so well. One reason is that cognitive development and language development are interdependent. We know that from research, that as the brain grows, language development occurs at the same time. So it takes advantage of that opportunity before adolescence.
You read in all the research papers that when students are younger and begin to learn a foreign language at that younger age, that they just soak it up like sponges. And you know, it's one thing to read that and know that, yeah, I agree with that, but to see it come alive and watch it in action is just, it's amazing, and it's so exhilarating, and I feel so blessed to be a part of that.
You'll be like, oh no, I don't know how to speak their language. What are you saying? Are you saying milk? And then you can know that, like, they're maybe asking you a question or they're just telling you something.
Vygotsky, he did a whole lot of research on language development, and he explains how it's so important for the brain to accept language at a very, very early age. When we are born, our brains are able to accept all kinds and all ranges of sound. And as we age, we start to limit what we hear and what we take on and what we're able to actually articulate. So these children are getting this new language at a time when their brain is still open to many, many sounds, and they're going to be able to articulate many other sounds as they grow older because they have the opportunity of taking on at least 2 languages.
Les gusta en escuela son educación física y matemáticas.
The students are not afraid to use the language. They're not afraid to try. They're not afraid to make mistakes. And when you wait until the students are older, it gets more difficult because they're so nervous about what their peers think. They don't want to make mistakes. But students at this age, they're ready to learn. They're trying to take in the world. They're soaking up everything they can. That's what their brains are wired to do at this age, just take in the language and take in the world and learn everything they can about anything and everything.
Yo me gusta mucho tener amigos y para aprender amigos.
Bien hecho. Esta vez así. Esta así. Bien hecho.
I like really is playing with friends and making new friends.
It's really, really nice to see such enthusiastic support for the program.
When we made the decision to have Spanish immersion begin in the Rockford schools, I truly walked out, got in my car, and started to cry tears of joy because I'm so proud to represent a district that is taking research and making it real at the appropriate age.
I feel truly blessed to be part of an immersion program, to be a teacher within an immersion program. A teacher is a wonderful role model in a student's life, and we instill values in our students and we encourage them in their academic progress. And I feel like in an immersion program, I'm not only helping them to achieve those academic goals, which they need to be successful, but also making them better world citizens.
Rockford Public Schools Spanish Immersion Program, a highly effective, cutting-edge language education that's really fun for students and a great tool to better their futures.